The scream tore through the restaurant so violently that every head snapped up at once. Silverware stilled. Conversations died. And Mara Ellis, bone-tired, underpaid, praying her boss wouldn't dock another shift, was the only one who moved toward it. A little girl stood in the doorway, shaking, palms clamped over her ears as if the world was crushing her. Behind her, a man in a flawless charcoal coat pleaded with the frozen staff. "Please, someone help her. She's shutting down." But wealth that heavy didn't invite help. It intimidated it. Mara stepped forward anyway. "Hey," she whispered, kneeling even as her hands trembled. "Look at me. You're safe." The girl's breathing faltered. Their eyes met. There was recognition. Fear Mara had seen before, lived before. Then the man's voice dropped to a desperate whisper. "If you can calm her, I'll tell you why she's running." That single promise cracked open a secret powerful enough to destroy lives. And Mara was about to step right into it. What happens next? If this moment pulls you in, hit like and subscribe to Canada's Heartfelt Tales for more gripping stories. The room seemed to shrink around Mara the second the girl's breathing steadied. The man in the charcoal coat exhaled like he'd been underwater for minutes. But the silence didn't last. Behind the counter, her manager Bert stormed forward, the too tight buttons of his shirt straining with every step. "What the hell do you think you're doing, Mara?" he snapped. "You don't touch customers. You don't talk to customers. You take orders." The man turned sharply. "She just saved my daughter." Bert didn't flinch. "Sir, with all due respect, your kid was disrupting the restaurant. My staff isn't trained to." "She didn't need training," the man cut in. "She needed compassion." The words landed harder than any shout could have. Mara hoped Bert would walk away. But he didn't. His eyes narrowed, cold and familiar in a way she wished they weren't. "I've warned her before," he said. "She gets emotional. People like her don't follow rules." Mara felt the sting immediately. People like her. Bert always said it in a way that meant something else, something sharper than class, heavier than attitude. He never said it outright, but he never had to. His meaning lived in the pauses, in the looks, in the way her schedule always shrank while others grew. The man's jaw tightened. "What exactly do you mean by that?" Bert lifted his chin. "I don't have to explain myself." The girl tugged on her father's coat. "Dad, she helped me." And that was the moment something shifted. So small at first, like a draft in a closed room, but growing faster than anyone expected. The father bent down, gently wiping the girl's cheek. "What's your name?" he asked Mara. She hesitated. "Mara Ellis." He nodded as if committing it to memory. "My name is Nathan Coldwell." Bert went still. Everyone in the diner went still. Coldwell. As in Coldwell Holdings. The name that hovered over half the city's skyline. Nathan straightened, voice calm but sharp enough to cut glass. "I don't tolerate disrespect toward the people who save my child." Bert's face reddened. "I didn't disrespect anyone." She overstepped. "My restaurant has standards." Mara stepped back, instinctively shrinking. She'd been here before, wrongly accused, cornered, expected to apologize until she disappeared. But Nathan wasn't having it. "You talked to her," he said, "like she didn't matter. As if her humanity is negotiable." Bert scoffed. "Look, maybe where she comes from." Nathan froze. That was it. The line that cut the room in half. Mara felt her stomach twist. Not because the insult surprised her, but because it was so predictable. Because she'd heard variations of it her whole life. "Stop," Nathan said. "Just stop." But Bert kept going. "People like her don't last in places like this. They're slow. Emotional. You give them 1 inch and they think they deserve the whole place." Nathan studied him for a long, heavy second. Then he said quietly, "I want your business card." "For what?" Bert asked. "To make sure you never speak to another employee like that again." The manager stumbled over his words. "This is insane. You can't threaten." "You're right," Nathan said. "So let me be clear. I'm not threatening you. I'm promising you, this restaurant will answer for how it treats its workers. He took his daughter's hand. Mara, he said without looking away from Bert, I need to speak with you outside. Mara's heart pounded. She followed him onto the sidewalk, still unsure whether she was about to be thanked or fired. Nathan crouched beside his daughter. Sweetheart, do you want to tell her? The little girl nodded timidly. When you talked to me, everything got quieter. Mara knelt to her level. That happens to some kids. And some adults too. It's nothing to be ashamed of. The girl leaned closer. No one ever knew how to help me until you did. Nathan stood. You understood her in 10 seconds. Therapists haven't managed that in 8 months. Mara didn't know what to say. I'd like to hire you, Nathan added. Full-time. Her breath caught. Hire me. Sir, I'm a waitress. You're the first person who's actually seen my daughter. I need someone who can protect her from a world that doesn't know how to treat those who are different. Mara felt heat prick behind her eyes. She thought of everything waiting at home. Her overdue rent, her unstable hours, the constant worry that the next shift might be her last. Let me think, she whispered. You don't have to, Nathan said. Because you're about to lose your job. She blinked. What? Bert burst out the doors behind them. His face twisted with triumph. I reviewed the cameras, he said loudly. You violated policy. You're terminated effective immediately. Nathan stepped toward him. What cameras? Bert smirked. Internal footage. And don't worry, Coldwell. I'll be filing a complaint. I know people in licensing. Your little waitress here. She's done. The way he said little waitress made Mara's skin burn. Nathan stared at him, then pulled out his phone. What are you doing? Bert demanded. Calling my attorney, Nathan said calmly. Because you just committed discrimination on a recorded sidewalk. Bert's face drained of color. You wanted power, Nathan said. Now you'll see what accountability feels like. He ended the call and turned to Mara. You didn't lose a job, he said softly. You escaped someone who never valued you. Her hands trembled. I don't know if I can just walk away. You're not walking away, Nathan said. You're walking forward. His daughter tugged Mara's sleeve. Will you stay with us today? Please. Mara nodded slowly. Yeah, I can do that. The little girl smiled, the first real smile she'd shown all morning. But just as Mara stepped toward their car, a voice behind her hissed her name. It was Rosa, the diner's owner, Bert's aunt. Mara, she whispered urgently, don't get involved with them. That man will ruin you just by standing near you. And don't think I didn't hear Bert. He's going to call immigration on you. Mara went cold. I'm not undocumented, she said through clenched teeth. Rosa shrugged. He thinks you are. And that's enough. People like him don't need truth. They only need suspicion. Nathan stepped between them. She won't be threatened anymore. Rosa scoffed. You think your money scares me? No, Nathan said. But the recording I just took of you might. He held up his phone, screen glowing red. Rosa's mask cracked. What are you talking about? You threatened her livelihood, her identity, and her safety. All while running a business that lives off community funding. His voice turned colder. This is the moment your power ends. Rosa backed up, shaking her head. You can't do this. Nathan tilted his head. Can't I? Mara watched disbelief turn into fear on Rosa's face. Fear of exposure, fear of consequences she'd never had to imagine. And for the first time since the morning began, Mara felt something new settle in her chest. Not hope, not relief, justice. Real justice, sharp, clean, and deserved. Nathan touched her shoulder. Let me drive you. There's more going on here than you know. His daughter climbed into the car, already calmer, already trusting. Mara hesitated, then followed. But as the doors closed and the car began to pull away, Rosa shouted after them, voice shrill with rage. You think you're safe now. You don't know who you're dealing with. Mara looked at Nathan. His expression had changed. Not fear. Not uncertainty. Something heavier. "Mara," he said quietly. "She's not the only one who wants to stop you." The car turned the corner. And for the first time Mara understood. Saving the little girl wasn't the beginning of a job. It was the beginning of a fight. A fight she never asked for. But one that someone, some very powerful someone, didn't intend for her to survive. And the person behind it all. They're about to learn exactly what happens when they underestimate the wrong woman. The truth unraveled faster than anyone expected. By the end of the week, the investigation into the diner exposed every lie Bert and Rosa had built their authority on. Their intimidation, their threats, their discrimination. It was all written in statements, recorded clips, and the testimonies of workers who finally felt brave enough to speak. Mara watched the news from Nathan's office, stunned as the city revoked their permits and announced a full labor audit. She didn't cheer. She didn't need to. Justice didn't always roar. Sometimes it arrived in quiet, steady steps. Nathan stood beside her. "They underestimated the wrong person," he said. Mara shook her head. "They underestimated everyone they thought was small." For the first time in years, she felt her own voice settle firmly inside her. No shaking, no second-guessing. The fear that once controlled her had lost its grip. Later that evening, as she walked Nathan's daughter to the car, the girl slipped her hand into Mara's. "You made things safe again," she whispered. Mara glanced at the fading sky. "No," she said softly. "We did that together." And for a moment, everything felt still, as if the world was learning to breathe with her. On the sidewalk, Nathan locked the office doors behind them. The neon reflections shimmered across a puddle at their feet, a reminder of the storm they'd survived, and the light that followed. If this story moved you, please like, share, and subscribe to Canada's Heartfelt Tales to help the channel grow and bring more stories to life.